Do y'all see how bright it is? We go to the side, you can see where we have some burn. Now, can you see it right here? We got some burn. So what we're gonna have to do is just cover these for right now. And as the days progress, they'll be able to stay outside without having a frost cloth on them. But it's like 86, 90 degrees today, and it's supposed to be the same thing tomorrow. So we'll just go ahead and cover her up. And now that I'm looking at this, I feel like this piece right here can come off. But since we are going to have some temperatures that are going to dip down, I'm going to wait on doing that. But I am going to cover up my boxwoods. I'm going to have to go a little bit further down into the show than what I wanted to do. Those fluctuations in temperatures are burn, but one positive thing about it, when you look through, you can see how I have like spaces cut out of my boxwoods here. Now, if it comes down to it, we can go ahead and just cut that foliage or foliage out. Depending on where you're from, you're going to say it differently. You can cut it out, and that way sunlight will get in there. But you want to have sunlight in your evergreen, so that way your insides are not bare. So we'll go ahead and get this covered up. Actually, we're going to use the remote. Where's my remote? Where's my remote? You guys, you're gonna have to get down in that comment section and ask where the remote is, because baby, it ain't dropping. The remote is not dropping. Where's my remote? I'm so tempted to plant up the fresh pansies that I just got, but I have a ton of pansies that have not yet been planted up yet, and I'm going to go ahead and get those planted up. But first, before we do that, we are going to make a quick run to the garden center because I want to stop, pick up some plants for a future project that I have coming up. And then we're also waiting on a delivery. It was a recommendation by Floret, and I absolutely love Floret. If you are not familiar with Floret, please get yourself familiar. When I tell you, she is one of the most positive. She's all about like just women empowerment. She's very much comfortable in herself. I like her because she takes her large platform that she has, and if she has someone that catches her attention, instead of her taking that person's influence and passing it off as her own, like gaslighting the situation, she promotes them. She's very much positive. When Floret discovers someone, she is all about promoting them, and she has just brought so many different women to the forefront. And if you don't know who Floret is, she actually has a show on the Magnolia Network. It's like Chip and Joanna Gaines gave Floret and her husband the opportunity. I actually do follow Floret over on Instagram, and I have several of Floret books. I've bought seed from Floret. So when she recommended this book, it was a no-brainer for me. And then it was actually on a subject that I absolutely love. But let's head out to the garden center and shop. Look and see what all they have available here. Here are some spring bulbs here, muscari, tulips, some bud pots, some pansies. Let's look at all this beautiful color. More pansies, more pansies here. Now let's go down this way because I think I see the candy tuft that I'm looking for. So we'll go over there, see how it's looking, and snag some up. The first thing I want to look at is all of the perennials. Now here is some candy tuft. Not all of the candy tuft look as hot because here's some that fell out. It's on the side, needs to be picked up. So this is a total waste. But what we can do is I want to get a few flats of this. So we got candy tuft. This flat looks pretty good with the exception of this one right here. So we'll swap this out and get this one right here, because I like to buy my perennials in flats. So not one or two, the entire flat. We'll also get this flat right here because it looks pretty good. So I need a lot of candy tuft for a project that I'm working on. So here is this flat right here. So 2 and 1 more flat of candy tuft will go over here on this side because they actually look a lot better. So this right here is a contender as well. Let's go ahead and get a cart. So here's a cart right here. We'll go ahead and start getting our flats together. Now you can really see it. This one right here, which looking at this one is nice, but I'm going to switch this one out. So we'll put this one right here in the case. And then over here on this side, we'll actually snag this entire flat right here. And we need a replacement, so we'll go back over here on this side. We'll snag this one. Made it back. I feel like the trip was successful. I was able to stay on point. They really didn't have very much, and some of the garden centers I'm noticing, like as far as the big box stores, they really have not been bringing in a lot of inventory as fast as they normally have. I feel like that could be a result of the current economic situation that we're under. Is it the tariffs? Does it have to do with the fires? I'm not sure. I want to do a little bit more research on that, and then I'll dive into what I think is. But let's head back and let's start working, because I need to start getting these beds acclimated because they've been undercover. Matter of fact, I'll show you, because I think I might have messed up. So let's head back there. I think I may have took it too far, trying to save my show to where I may have messed up my show. And the sole purpose of me having my raised bed area covered was a fewfold. I can't even say twofold, but a fewfold. But mainly to prevent the buds of my hollowboards from being frozen off, because we were going into like a deep freeze situation. But in the meantime, in planning for that, I totally missed a few different steps, and I should have already came out here and pulled this off. The intention was to pull all of my protective coverings off last week, but I knew we were going to have some wind, and then in addition to having some strong winds, chance for tornadic activity, a chance for just severe weather, but then also dropping down back into the 20s, so I left everything in place. Then we got hit with the gust of severe wind, and so as a result of that, I just kind of left everything in place to protect it. But let me show you how we're going to try to save this show, because otherwise we could pop them back in. Come on, get on up in here. And when you get on up in here, hit that subscribe button as well as that like button, that notification bell. Come on. Come on. Hit it. We have our hollowboards here, right? And we also have some daffodils that we sprinkled inside of this bed as well. In that video, I was showing you all how to keep the squirrels out of your beds, because that is a problem that so many of us have. I have squirrels that are just all over my garden. Should have only left this protective covering up for 2 weeks, but it's been here since last fall, and you see it's grown through. So we're gonna have to nip that out. I have some wire cutters, and hopefully we don't tear the bulbs, the foliage up for the bulbs. Let's try to get it out. Now, these should be relatively easy to get out right here. These are our hollowboards, and we have another bulb that's growing through them, but I feel like we should be able to cut these out. I've had this happen on many occasions, and I just go in and I just cut. Yes, right on the bloom head, and I might have to go get some sharper scissors. We were more successful with these bulbs over here. The ones over here are more tattered, but it's okay. Hopefully we'll still get a show out of them. For things like this, I will go ahead and just snip these out. All of the frost cloth is off. We are going to be potting up some containers, and I'm talking about some simple containers. If you want a simple container that'll give you a show, then these are going to be some containers that you want to pop here and there and just sprinkle throughout, and they'll be super cheap to do. Have to meet with a contractor really quick. Have some damage from the strong winds. I think they said it was a total of like 10 to 11 tornadoes that touched down in the St. Louis region. So got to meet with a contractor. My stuff is just very minor. I mean very minor. Not even major enough to even mention, but got to meet with them, and then we'll pick up where we left off at. you a close-up of what these look like. Now this is our pansy that we planted up, a matrix light blue. The bloom is so huge. Here's my hand, here is the bloom, and I like it. It is adorable, and you can see that we do have some space in the container. Not concerned about, you can always go in and pick those off, and then when I pick that off, you can see the space that I have in my container there. The same for this one right here. Here's one is more tattered, but here's one that is not, so it's going to be beautiful. And then right here as well, here's our pink sorbet viola. Absolutely love this. This is a must for me every year in my garden. So with our containers, we did 2 of the smaller ones that's matching, and then we did a larger one. And when we get these in their place for their final show, this is going to be absolutely amazing. I tripped because I think my package came, which we'll open that up together, but in the midst of going over there to get my package, see what it was, or what I think it is. I think that's what it is. I don't have my phone on me so that I can pull it up. I accidentally forgot to turn on the camera, and maybe I did and maybe I didn't. I don't know, but just in case, one of the cheapest containers that you can plant up for your spring show, and it is going to give, and I mean give to where it's going to transition you into the summertime, is going to be containers full of violas and pansies. Now we've done both. We've done 2 of the sky blue pansy, and then we've also done more of the pink sorbet violas, and I absolutely love them. The pink sorbet, the sorbets in general, I use them without fail every year in one form or the other in my displays in my garden, because they give such a show. And the same thing with the pansies. The pansies have a larger bloom, but when I tell you, if you want to have a display full of nothing but pansies and violas, it will be absolutely stunning and gorgeous. I'm telling you, just absolutely amazing. So what we've done here is we took the pansies and just did a full pot of nothing but pansies. You can also do this with your mixes, and it'll look absolutely amazing as well. And then we got a pot of nothing but violas. Wait to show you where these are going to go in the garden. We're not going to put them in their place right now. We are going to head in, but before we head in, we're going to give them some water. That is one of the things. And then also, I don't care who tells you this, please fertilize your spring containers. Put some slow release in there. I like to work in slow release fertilizers, and I also like to hit them with a fast release fertilizer. I'm telling you this. Please fertilize your spring containers, okay? You'll have so many experts that will tell you that it's not needed, it's not warm enough, it won't work. Okay, listen to them. And I didn't even throw no shade, but for me, I fertilize my containers and they just give, and that more abundantly. So let's water these in, go open up that package. I went ahead and I stopped and picked up a tray, our watering can for like our smaller type of containers, because I do want to repot our kitchen arrangement here. Now we did these containers and we came in and we planted up an arrangement. Now it's time to replace them. But what we're going to be replacing them with, and I'm going to try to use a repotting tray here and my gloves. Not try, I am. First, I'll take off my myrtle. Now, when I get my myrtles, it does not bother me if they immediately drop leaves, because they have to get acclimated to the environment that I'm going to have them in. But you just keep watering them and give them light and they will push back out. And I'll show you that as well. And then also, it's best practice to make sure that you keep your myrtles on the wetter side. And I did let this dry out. How cute is that? Yes. We'll lift it up and water it in. Overhead, this is what our violas look like. Isn't this gorgeous? Look at this mix of violas. Absolutely gorgeous. And so what we did was we have our smallest planter here. We have our violas in this one. And then we also have violas inside of this planter as well. Now this planter could stand to be cut back, but I am going to just let them just be just like this for right now. Only because when they're all three together, it looks extremely full. And then we have our planter with our myrtle in it, and I love this. I mean, I just love it. Okay, it's beautiful. Here you can see our new row flushing out. Can you see it? So if you run across this, don't worry, it's going to flush back out for you. Just keep watering it and keep it in the light. And I really feel like it gives our arrangement life. And it just is a completely different feel with how it was planted up before. I did the collection of moss terracotta pots. Then this is the next look that I'm transitioning mine out to. Everything has been watered in, so I'll go ahead and get this back in its place. Fantastic. Now, let me wipe this down real quick before I pull my book out. I'm excited. Now, anytime that I'm doing work inside of my kitchen, because we're dealing with dirt and things of that nature, I always go in and I use bleach to clean. What do you all use? Or do you even repot in your kitchen? I have some people that feel like repotting in the kitchen is an absolute no-no. But I always like to keep bleach on hand and make sure I clean it up right away. Now we'll open up our book here. And I'm super excited because Floret had posted on her page when she was talking about all of the work, you know, her just getting excited about pansies. And I thought it was funny because I am one of those ones who nerd out about pansies and violas. So to see that it was an actual book about just pansies, I lost it. Okay, here's this book, you guys. So, to give you the skinny about this book. Oh my goodness me. Look at this cover, honey. Look at it. Yes. Yes. Oh, wow. And on the back is a complete give. That's absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. Get into it. Now, how I found out about this book was on my Instagram. I was scrolling through and Floret was talking about this book and I immediately ordered it. And that's how I found out about it. So I'll be sure to link this book down in the description box. If you are one that, now I'm not sure what all this book entails, but I thought that I super duper love pansies. And I know a lot of you all like to use pansies and violas, so why not? But this is my latest read, and just from the look, just glancing through this book, I think it is going to be one of my reads. I will say this. I am super jealous of the pansies and violas that I see overseas. Completely different. Now, granted, I do pansies and violas from seeds, and I'll use them. And I'll use pansies and violas and actually have them in the off season. I'll overwinter them in containers. I've talked about violas and pansies almost endlessly on the channel, and you'll see where it's like a month or 2 months before any of the garden centers will have violas and pansies, and you'll see me come out with some. So I'm super excited to dive into this book. I'll make sure to leave this in the description box. And by all means, the cheapest planter that you can plant and get more bang than you ever thought you would be a container full of pansies and a container full of violas. So if you're wanting a look that is going to give, you can totally just do a 100% arrangement with nothing but violas as well as pansies. So drop down in the comment box. Let me know if this book is going to be something that you'll check out. And also let me know, do you plant up a lot of pansies and violas? Because it's been something that I've been accustomed to planting up since I was a little girl. And I'm super duper excited. And one of the things I like about them, they're super duper easy to start from seed.